Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow, and perhaps even check out our Patreon. Today I'm here at the Amerton Railway for their Steam Gala, which means there's things like that happening behind me. However, I'm not on one of those today. I'm in fact on one of these two, and you may be noticing that those two are in fact not steam engines. And so why are they out for the Steam Gala? Well, my friends, these have been put out so that I can have a little play on what is known as the industrial area. And by play, I mean operational turn. This is going to be some very important shunting of moving a set of skips from one part of this industrial section to another, repeatedly. And I am so excited. The two locomotives we're looking at today are both Claytons, this one being the lighter 4-ton variety, and this one was built way back in 1973, which actually, for locomotive terms, mean this is a relative newcomer to the railway scene. Now, this has had a wide and varied life, and hopefully in another video we'll go into this in some more detail, but it is presented to us in the condition that it finished working. Its last main contract, I think, was as early as 2009. This has been having an actual industrial working life in recent history. And then it kind of just work dried up. Railways weren't being used in industry as much, and this thing was just sat on standby. When the company that owned it changed hands, the new company went, "We still got locomotives. Why on earth do we want trains? Get rid of them." And so during COVID, some emails were sent, and the guys here at the railway managed to acquire this one and the bigger one for preservation. And that's what I love about it. This was something that was ready to go, mostly ready to go, because once it turned up here, the owner has had to do an awful lot to get these batteries to actually hold charge and work again. But through some magic stuff with electrics that I don't really understand, he's managed to recondition the battery pack and get this thing going again. So there it is, fresh, straight out of industry, was ready to go out and take a new contract and work, and now saved for preservation, and I think that's wonderful. This Clayton is part of the bigger variety and started life as a 5.5 tonner, although through its life it got modified and became a 6-ton locomotive. Now, we think this one was built in 1980, although we're not actually sure. There are conflicting dates to when this thing actually came on the scene. We know it changed owners in 1990, but we don't know what happened before that. So 1980 probably. If you do know, let us know in the comments below. Now, this thing worked its last job alongside with that one over there with the same company back in 2009, and then again was just put on standby. This one, the batteries are okay, and it had a couple of new cells which brought the whole pack back into life and is now in fine fettle. You may have also noticed the googly eyes on the front. These are the owners, and he takes a great joy in having the googly eyes on this or whatever other engine he's rostered on during the day. So when I came across it this morning, it was pre-fitted with the googly eyes, and as it is the owner's choice, the googly eyes will stay. And with the basics covered, it's time to start doing some stuff. Landed. So now I've got my train, all I've got to do is change my directional light to forwards, push this into forwards on the reverser, press the horn, drop that down into drive, push that and take the brake off, and now off we go. Now, the biggest thing I don't like about these things is you have a very definite minimum speed, which is about 3 miles an hour. So for running around here, it's kind of give it a bit of throttle, knock it off, let everything bounce, give it a bit more. There's no kind of set and forget it. It's constant little bit of adjustment here, there, and just keep going with it. A little adjustment, and keep a hand on the brake ready. pedal that I've got my foot on, if I take my foot off that, we just stop. However, being left in control of the railway, under supervision of people stood over there, but just being told to, yeah, go on, have some fun, is actually rather exciting. Clatter, there we go. And off we go now. This is great. Now, I have said before that the battery electrics are maybe a little soulless, but actually for somewhere like here, for bashing some wagons around a triangle and going for a little run down the main line, they're perfect. This little bit of the line where it's slightly overgrown and very industrial feel. They're so much fun. It feels authentic. I feel like I'm about to head to the mine or somewhere to get the tippers refilled. The only problem I have is now I've come to this part, which is the end of the line, and I have to come to a stop. I could propel, but there's another electric engine waiting for me. So I could just go for a walk and go pick up the electric engine and then take my wagons away. Now, normally you'd have somebody else to do this, but Charles was busy today, so I've got to go for a walk. So having stabled my train, it's time to wander off in a this way direction to go pick up the other locomotive to couple onto that end to then bring it back this way. I'll be honest, there's a lot more walking involved in doing this than my initial plan of just operate trains. There it is. Right. Having walked round to this side, I can go, oof, oof. Yes, something like that. Getting here, make sure it's turned on, foot on the dead man's into reverse, acknowledge the power by doing that, do this down here, brake off, and off we go. And now we can go pick up my train. It's actually quite entertaining. It's amazing as well, these two are so similar yet entirely different. Where the controls are, the layout of just physically where you put your arm, despite having identical controls, it gives an entirely different feel. I think perhaps the best thing about operating up and down here is the fact that we just keep coming across the main line. And passing trains is very exciting. And of course, from the point of view of the railway, having this bit operating makes the whole place more interesting. It means there's more going on. And like that, there's my train. So all I've got to do is just gently roll onto it. Just like that. And having coupled up, I can knock this into forward, engage that, brake off, press the, and off we try. It is the problem with this that there is no gently take off. It is give everything behind you whiplash. Apart from that, glorious. Also, the roof is the wrong height. I keep banging my head on this panel. It's so industrial. This is proper. Now, this is one of my favourite things about the Amerton Railway, is this section, because it's kind of how an industrial railway would have been. It wouldn't be smooth and nice with a load of ballast, it would be just thrown down, chucked however, that you kind of bounce over rather than drive over. It's a really important part of railway heritage to explain how it would have been. All these things that we have in industry, these little 2-foot gauge locos, so many of them would have been working on little railways like this, bouncing their way through the wildlife. And it's so important to be able to showcase that and go, well, this is what their life would have been like. Also, it's just exceedingly good fun. We've arrived. It's just silly. And so that gives you a basic idea of how the operation here is working. We take wagons from over there and bring them to here, and then we go get an engine from over there, and we put it onto the wagons that are here, and then take the wagons back over there. Then we take this engine and go over there and pick up the wagons. And then we repeat. We bring the wagons from over there back to here, then take them over there, and then from there we take them over there, and there, and there, and just basically repeat. So with a basic understanding of what we're doing there, may we continue with the operations, which means I need to go get a locomotive from over there. And having found myself another driver, it was time to continue shunting.
The best way to understand the operation was to see it from the air, hovering directly above the triangle. With each movement, a locomotive would pull the train of 4 skips forward, then the other locomotive would go around the other side of the triangle, couple onto the front of the train, and then drag it back over its last movement. This worked very well because some of the points didn't have enough space to be able to change it with locomotive, train and other locomotive, so you had to go back the way that you'd come. But it just kept things interesting for both people operating. You had a short journey with the skips, and as we weren't propelling them, that minimised any risks of things coming off. And most importantly, for the public who had come to visit, there was plenty of action going on.
So after spending many a happy hour with these two, bashing around that set of skips in pretty much every possible formation that we could, the day is coming to an end. And I've had an absolutely superb time here at the railway. Who would have thought that battery electrics could be just so much fun? And the fact they're in this as-used condition on a railway which is basically as close as you can get to an industrial railway, it's felt real. It's felt like I'm actually doing it properly. And for that, I have absolutely adored it. It's been brilliant. However, the day isn't entirely over because there's one last thing to do, and that is to take these two things back to the shed. With that, the locomotives return to the shed at the end of the day, and that marks the end of the Gala. And frankly, I have had an amazing time on these little things. I know previously I've said, electric things, a bit soulless, whatever. Has been so much fun. I can't think of a better way, honestly, to spend a summer afternoon in the sun bashing some wagons about with electric things. And for once, I'm going home and I don't stink. Don't stink that bad. It's been great. I think these things are fantastic. So a massive great thank you to the Amerton Railway for inviting us along and allowing me to take these things out and having freedom of the industrial railway. It's been amazing. And if you want more information, link to the website is in the video description, and perhaps click somewhere over there for the last video I shot here, or down there for a video that started off here. And with that, I'm taking this and I'm going home. Ta-da! Oh my God, I broke things. Run away, run away.